Hi, Sean Hodrobino, Devil's Digest. Do you have any updates in terms of the health of Trenton, Rowe, and Kyle for Saturday? And second part of my question is the fact that Emory Jones came in and played as well as he did. Do you think that's important to have that confidence booster this late in the season in case he's called upon duty for the next couple of games?
Absolutely. I don't get my the full medical report on who's going to be probable, questionable until 3 o'clock today. So I'll know a little bit more. I thought they were moving around pretty well, but all of the medical reports will come back to me at 3 o'clock. I thought Emery did a good job coming in, especially coming off the bench and it's cold and put in a situation where he had to go and make plays. I thought he played pretty well. It is from a confidence level from my point of view and from his, just knowing that he can get back on the field again. And so when he's called on, but I think he'll be ready. And he told me that he'll be ready whenever his name is called.
Sean, Chris Cartman, son of a source. You have the senior day this week. What kind of thoughts do you have about doing that for the first time in your role, and about the guys that you have that are going to be leaving the program?
When I first had my first conference, you talk about inspiring kids, and they really inspired me. They held me accountable. I thought this senior group has been through a lot. And, for them to keep playing, and that's our motivation and my theme of these next 2 weeks, and to keep that motivation is these seniors, there's kids on this team that need to play for these seniors, and this is their last time they're walking through Tillman Tunnel and playing on this field, and so there's motivation there. And then the motivation for the last week is the Territorial Cup. And so our kids will come out and play because of that motivation. Have you seen in the past, they won't quit. They could have quit this last game when it was cold, but they're going to play, and they're playing for something more than themselves, especially for the seniors. And so we'll be ready to go. We'll get through our injuries and get through our practices. And I'm going to save a little bit on them from a length standpoint because we have some guys that need to get healthy, but our guys will be motivated to play, Chris.
In particular, Kyle Soley, Merlin Robertson, they've been around forever, and they've given so much to the program. So what do you have to say about sending those guys off the right way?
Yeah, to see their resiliency and to see that their care, and they talk about being Sun Devils for life, that means a lot. For me to be a part of that has been huge for me in my career. I'm going to miss them because I've been with them for 4 years now, and then seen their transformation in maturity, both on and off the field. And so it'll be bittersweet for them. But just watching them go through the adversity they have been going through, there's no doubt that they're going to be successful in their lives. And I'm happy to see grown men. Our gratification for coaching is seeing those guys become great men later on and great fathers. I've seen Merlin because he's a father right now, and him being around his kids. And it's just more gratifying to me than the wins and losses. It's just them being a good man.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic.
Hey, Michelle.
Can you talk about maybe at halftime what flipped the switch with this team? Because everybody says to heck with moral victories, but to do what you guys did in the second half after that kind of first half, what was the message in the locker room? And were there one or two players maybe that were instrumental in kind of keeping the team together in that moment?
Yeah, there's two players, TJ Pesafea and Jordan Clark came up and we talked about playing for pride and getting back on it. We needed to make sure that we executed. We didn't execute well, and we need to play with more heart. And they came back, and the coaches, I thought, made pretty good adjustments at halftime, and the kids listened. In that time, you look at their eyes and their faces, and you seem, sometimes they seem lost at that point. But there was a couple of vocal players in that group, and told them everybody got to get off and get going, and get up and get going, and I thought they did.
Yeah, so Sean, this may be a little bit awkward question, but
Sure.
But we're within a couple weeks of ASU having a new football coach, whether
Yes.
that's you or somebody else or whatever. So, from your perspective, given all of your understanding of ASU and the local community and everything. What would you think are the most important criteria for whoever that person is?
The continuity, the passion for Arizona State football. I think it's hard for somebody to come from the outside that has no idea what Arizona State football means to people. The Arizona State High School Football Association, that's going to have to be really important. But the love for Arizona State football, I think that's the number one, especially in this transition and understanding what type of recruited athletes that we want here. To build a program that is disciplined and held accountable and put on a product that is tough, that never quits. Those are the type of things that, from a criteria standpoint, that I would want to see as being a Sun Devil fan myself. And so those are the things that I think are very, very important to the Sun Devil community, and hopefully that fits well.
Do you think that somebody who comes in who doesn't have a lot of the market-specific knowledge and understanding, that there's a learning curve that makes it more difficult than somebody who inherently understands a lot of those things, such as yourself?
Absolutely. I think from a community base, from a recruiting base, from a financial base, all of that stuff would have to be learned. For somebody that has that knowledge, I think it's a huge advantage. And then I think the people of the Sun Devil Nation understand that there's somebody that has to care about it and not use it as a stepping stone to go someplace else. And I think that's huge. They want continuity. They want somebody that builds a community from a football program that is outreached into Arizona itself and the alumni. And so it is a special place. Being here as an assistant and then the interim head coach, understanding a lot more, having my son as a Sun Devil here as well, and growing up 20-some years, my kids growing up here in Arizona. So it is important for me, no matter what way it goes.
Coach, when you watch Oregon State on film, what jumps out at you about them, and what's going to be the big key for you guys this week?
They're second-ranked defense in the Pac-12, very similar to Washington State. I think they do a great job not getting hit with big plays. They do bring exotic pressures, very similar to Washington State, but they play disciplined football. On the offensive side, they're a multiple group that likes to run the football. But I love their toughness. I think Coach Smith does a great job in bringing out the toughness with that group. I know Coach Lindgren and Coach Braid do a great job as coordinators. I know them personally, and it will be a fight for us, and we need to match the intensity that they have.
Will it matter who's quarterback for them? Because obviously their backup quarterback's been the guy playing, and the other guy, I guess, is in concussion protocol and has been. So does it change how you prepare when you don't maybe know which quarterback will be in there?
I think a little bit, but they want to run the football and be in heavy sets and those things. And so it's not as much as if it is a spread out offense and that guy's hurting you with his legs. But we're just going to prepare with what we saw last week and just in our back of our minds understand we have to make an adjustment if it's another quarterback.
I'll go one more.
Yes.
Jack Coletto has been like a weapon against ASU. He's literally...
He's been a headache.
He's yeah, how do you... I mean, it's been 3 years now you're dealing with him, and ASU didn't have any better success last year than the year before. How do you try and beat the dude?
Hopefully not be in 4th-and-1 situations so he can run the football. But, he does a good job coming in on the defensive side of the ball and playing linebacker. He's just a tough kid. The more and more you look at football, you want those type of kids. I think we have one in the Case Hatch, and, just good football players that are utility knife guys that just have fun doing whatever they're asked to do. But he is a problem, and we got to make sure that he doesn't get on the field.
The Pac-12 has 6 top 25 teams, 5, I think, in the top 16 or so. What do you make of that, given sort of the situation that you personally inherited and kind of how the challenges, like all the challenges that kind of went into this season for you guys?
There was never a break in any of this part of the season for us. We go from Utah to USC, and that's a huge challenge. Both were in the top 10, and then you got UCLA and Washington, and now Oregon State, and it's a challenge. It's good, I think, for the conference that there's so many good teams and there's parity within the teams, but it's a battle and everybody's knocking each other off, and whoever plays the best football that week with less turnovers, I think wins the game, because anybody can beat anybody at any given Saturday. I think it'll play out the next couple weeks the same way as well, but I'm glad there's parity and I'm glad there's competition, and it's good to face that competition.